Beloved child of God, let me begin with a question that may already be echoing in your spirit. Have you ever sensed that someone, no matter how hard they try, simply cannot let you go? They may act silent, they may keep their distance, but their soul keeps reaching for yours. That is what the angels are whispering to you today. Someone secretly cannot let you go, and heaven wants you to know why. Welcome to the Lord's reminder. I believe you are here not by chance, but by divine appointment. The Spirit of God has drawn you here because there is a word meant for your heart in this very moment. If this is your first time with us, I encourage you subscribe and click the notification bell so you will never miss another word from heaven designed to strengthen and guide your journey. Before we go deeper, I want you to take a step of faith. Right now, go into the comments and type, "I receive." By writing these words, you are agreeing with heaven, opening your heart, and declaring that this message is for you. Every time you write and declare, you are planting seeds of faith that will bear fruit in your spirit. Beloved, let me speak this truth. When God ties souls together, no amount of silence, distance, or circumstance can erase the imprint. Someone may try to convince themselves to move forward, but their spirit keeps circling back to you. They cannot let you go because heaven has anchored something eternal between you. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart." That eternity is what keeps them tied to you. It is not obsession, it is divine memory. Their soul remembers what their mind tries to ignore. Perhaps you've felt their absence, but at the same time, you've also sensed their presence in your heart. That is not imagination, it is confirmation. The angels whisper to you in these moments, reminding you that you are not forgotten. Their silence may speak loudly, but the Spirit is speaking louder still. They cannot let you go. Think of Ruth and Boaz. Ruth had every reason to walk away after losing her husband, but something in her heart tied her to Naomi and eventually to Boaz. Ruth 1:16 says, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay." Beloved, there are connections heaven has ordained where the heart refuses to release, no matter how much the flesh tries. This is why someone still thinks of you constantly, why they quietly hold on, even if they appear silent. Beloved, type in the comments right now, "I believe God is holding you together." That declaration is a reminder that what God ties, no one can untie. Sometimes they cannot let you go because your presence awakens something in them they cannot find anywhere else. Proverbs 20:27 says, "The human spirit is the lamp of the Lord that sheds light on one's inmost being." You lit something in them by simply being who you are. They may try to distract themselves with other people or pursuits, but nothing compares because no one else carries the light you carry. That is why thoughts of you keep returning. Beloved, consider Joseph again. His brothers betrayed him, sold him, and left him for dead. For years there was silence between them. But when famine struck, their hearts were pulled back to Egypt, back to the brother they once rejected. Genesis 42:21 says, "They said to one another, 'Surely we are being punished because of our brother.'" Years of distance could not erase Joseph from their thoughts. In the same way, this person may have been silent, but you are still etched into their spirit. Beloved, silence does not equal release. Sometimes silence is simply wrestling. They are struggling with their own heart. They cannot let you go because God is not allowing them to. Jeremiah 20:9 says, "His word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot." Just as Jeremiah could not silence God's fire within him, they cannot silence the pull toward you. And, beloved, I want you to know this. Sometimes their silence is actually their protection. They cannot let you go, but they may not know how to come forward yet. God may be holding their tongue until the timing is right. Think of Zechariah, the father of John the Baptist. Luke 1:20 records, "And now you will be silent and not able to speak until the day this happens, because you did not believe my words." His silence was not punishment. It was preservation of the promise. When the silence ended, his words carried power and prophecy. In the same way, when your soulmate's silence ends, their words will not be casual. They will carry weight, truth, and clarity. Beloved, type this in the comments. The promise is being preserved. This is your faith declaration that the silence you feel is God's way of protecting the bond until it is ready. Now, let's reflect on how love works in silence. Song of Solomon 8-7 says, "Many waters cannot quench love. Rivers cannot sweep it away. Love is not erased by silence." If anything, silence sometimes magnifies love, because thoughts and longings grow in the absence of words. They cannot let you go because the love God planted cannot be quenched. Beloved, I know waiting in silence can be painful. It can test your patience, your trust, and your hope. But Romans 5:3-4 encourage us. We know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. This silence is producing something in you. It is building strength and hope, preparing you for the moment silence breaks and words are finally spoken. If this word resonates with you, act in faith right now. Like this video as your agreement with heaven. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Lord's reminder and click the notification bell, because heaven will continue to send words to guide you. Beloved, remember this. Silence is not the absence of thought. They may not speak, but their heart speaks loudly in the Spirit. The angels are whispering to you because God wants to comfort your heart. Someone secretly cannot let you go, and in the right time, their silence will end. There is so much more. The Spirit wants to reveal how silence becomes pursuit, how angels guard this bond, and how to remain steady in faith until the words finally come. Beloved child of God, let us walk even deeper into this word, because the Spirit has not finished revealing what heaven is whispering to you. Someone secretly cannot let you go, and though silence may cover their actions, their thoughts and spirit are still tied to you in ways they cannot escape. The angels want you to know this truth, so you do not give up in discouragement. So often, when we hear nothing, we assume nothing is happening. But silence in the natural world is rarely silence. In the spiritual, think about a seed buried in the ground. To the eye, it looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, the seed is cracking open, roots are stretching, and life is forming. The silence of the soil is not the death of the seed, it is the beginning of growth. Mark 4:27 says, "Night and day, whether he sleeps or gets up, the seed sprouts and grows, though he does not know how." Beloved, their silence is the soil. And while you cannot see it, the thoughts they have of you, the longings, the memories, are the roots forming that will one day burst forth into action. Sometimes they cannot let you go because God Himself has sealed something in their spirit that no amount of distraction can erase. Ecclesiastes 3:14 says, "I know that everything God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it and nothing taken from it." God does it so that people will fear Him. When God has ordained a bond, no silence can undo it. You remain in their spirit because God Himself is the one who tied the cord. Beloved, type this declaration in the comments. What God does will endure. Every time you declare this, you are reminding yourself that you are not clinging to a human effort, you are holding onto a divine plan. Let us look at the story of Jacob and Esau. For years, their relationship was broken. Silence stretched between them, and Jacob feared facing his brother again. Yet when they met, Esau embraced Jacob. Genesis 33:4 says, "But Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him. And they wept." Years of silence could not erase brotherhood. In the same way, The connection God has planted in your life is not erased by silence. It is preserved until the appointed time of reconciliation. Beloved, sometimes silence is the space where God deals with the hidden places of the heart. Your soulmate cannot let you go because while they are silent toward you, they are loud inside themselves, wrestling, questioning, remembering. They think of you constantly because their spirit keeps circling back, unable to detach from what God has established. Proverbs 19:21 says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." They may have plans to move forward, to ignore, to distract themselves, but the Lord's purpose pulls them back, whispering your name in their thoughts. Consider also the prophet Jonah. He tried to run from God's assignment, but he could not. Even in the belly of the fish, he could not let go of God's call. Jonah 2:2 says, "In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead I called for help, and you listened to my cry." Jonah's silence did not erase his mission, and neither will silence erase the bond between you and the one who cannot let you go. They may try to flee, but like Jonah, they are constantly reminded of where they truly belong. Beloved, type this in the comments now. God's purpose will pull them back. This is your agreement that no matter how far silence stretches, God's hand is stronger than their resistance. We must also remember how God uses silence to protect timing. If the words came too soon, they might be careless. If the pursuit came too early, it might collapse under immaturity. Silence is not punishment, it is preparation. Habakkuk 2-3 reminds us, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." Their silence is waiting for that appointed time. But their thoughts reveal the truth. They are already connected, already aware, already tied to you. Beloved, even King David understood the weight of silence. In Psalm 39:2-3 he wrote, "So I remained utterly silent, not even saying anything good, but my anguish increased. My heart grew hot within me. While I meditated, the fire burned." Silence did not remove the fire, it increased it. That is, what is happening to the one who cannot let you go? The more they remain silent, the more their thoughts burn within them. The more they meditate on you, the stronger the fire becomes. Beloved, declare this in faith. The fire is still burning. Even when silence stretches, know that the inner fire is still alive. Think about Peter after he denied Jesus 3 times. Silence covered their relationship for a while. Shame kept Peter quiet. But Jesus sought him out, because love cannot be quenched by silence. John 21:17 records Peter finally saying, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." The silence was broken, and truth was confessed. In the same way, your soulmate's silence is not proof of lack, it is proof of wrestling. But just as Peter eventually declared his love, so too will words eventually break forth from silence. Beloved, type in the comments, "Love will break the silence." Because when the time is right, the love they carry will not allow them to stay quiet any longer. Sometimes silence is not them ignoring you, it is them being refined. Just like gold is purified in fire, God uses silence to burn away fear, pride, and hesitation. Isaiah 48:10 says, "See, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." They are in the furnace of silence, but it is shaping them into someone who can carry the weight of covenant. They cannot let you go because God is refining them with you in mind. Beloved, silence also allows angels to work. When Daniel prayed, the answer was sent immediately, but delayed by warfare. Daniel 10:12 says, "Since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them." Angels are working even now in the silence, aligning Steps, softening hearts, preparing encounters. You may feel nothing is happening, but heaven is busy. Type this in the comments. Angels are at work. That is your declaration of trust that silence is not stagnation. Heaven is moving on your behalf. Beloved, let me remind you of Lazarus again. 4 days in the tomb, silent, lifeless to everyone watching. But Jesus declared in John 11:11, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up." What looked dead was only sleeping. Your soulmate's silence may look like death to the connection, but to Jesus, it is only sleep. And when he speaks, silence will end, and resurrection will come. Do not let silence fool you. Someone cannot let you go. They think of you constantly, and God is whispering to you through angels so that you do not lose hope. Psalm 121:4 says, "Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep." If God does not sleep, then his plan for your bond has not gone dormant either. Beloved, if this word is confirming what you feel in your spirit, take a step of faith. Like this video as your way of saying, "I trust God even in the silence." And if you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to the Lord's reminder and click the notification bell so you will not miss another word sent to strengthen you. Share this message with someone who is waiting in silence too, because it might be the very encouragement their soul needs. There's more heaven wants to reveal: how to recognize the signs that silence is about to end, how to prepare your heart for when words finally come, and how to stay grounded in God's love while the waiting continues. Beloved child of God, the Spirit is still speaking, and I must pour out what heaven is placing in my heart for you. Someone cannot let you go. They may remain quiet outwardly, but within themselves, the connection continues to tug at them. Their spirit remembers, their thoughts replay, their heart refuses to release you because it was God who placed this tie. Silence is not proof of absence. Silence is often proof of nearness, but in an unseen way. Many people mistake silence for closure. But beloved, closure is not silence. Closure only comes when God himself has released something. And if you are still being stirred, if they still surface in your spirit, it is because heaven has not signed the release. They think of you constantly because God has written your name upon their heart, and no attempt to erase it can succeed. Jeremiah 31:3 says, "I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness." That same everlasting love that God pours into us is the love he plants between two souls he chooses. Everlasting love cannot be undone by moments of silence. Beloved, type in the comments now, "Everlasting love holds US." Declare it in faith, because God's love is the glue that no silence can unbind. Let us return to Joseph for a moment. When his brothers stood before him in Egypt, they did not know who he was. Yet Joseph remembered them, every detail, every action. The years of silence did not erase his thoughts of them. Genesis 42:9 says, "Then he remembered his dreams about them." Beloved, the person who cannot let you go remembers. They may not tell you, but they remember your words, your kindness, your spirit, the peace they felt around you. They may stay silent, but their heart recalls. Their dreams recall. Silence cannot bury what heaven keeps alive. Sometimes their silence is simply God's way of healing them before they come. They think of you constantly because your presence is the place of comfort their spirit longs for, but they may feel unworthy, unprepared, or uncertain. Just like the prodigal son, who was silent toward his father for a time, yet when hunger struck, his thoughts returned home. Luke 15:17 says, "When he came to his senses, he said, 'How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death?'" He thought of home constantly, even when he was away. In the same way, your soulmates. Silence does not mean they do not think of you. It means they are still on the road of coming to their senses. Beloved, declare this boldly: their heart will return. Because the Spirit is reminding you that silence's temporary return is the plan. The angels whisper to you because heaven wants you to stay encouraged. You are not waiting in vain. Even in silence, God confirms through dreams, verses repeated, signs and sudden memories. The pull you feel toward them is not delusion, it is confirmation. And those same angels are ministering to them, reminding them of you when they least expect it. Hebrews 1:14 says, "Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation?" They minister reminders, stirrings, convictions. That is why they cannot let you go. Heaven itself will not let them forget. Beloved, think of Esther in the palace. She was hidden away, silent about her identity for a time. But she was still constantly on Mordecai's mind, and he checked on her daily. Esther 2:11 says, "Every day he walked back and forth near the courtyard of the harem to find out how Esther was and what was happening to her." Silence did not remove her from his thoughts. In fact, it made him seek more. Your soulmates. Silence does not mean they've erased you. It may mean they are pondering, watching, and remembering in ways you do not see. Beloved, type in the comments, "I am still in their heart." Because this is what heaven is whispering. You have not been erased. Sometimes silence is an indication of spiritual warfare. The enemy knows how powerful your union will be, so he tries to hold back communication. Remember Daniel's prayer. Daniel 10:12-13 reveals that the answer was sent immediately, but delayed by warfare in the spiritual realm. In the same way, your connection may feel delayed, but it is not denied. Someone cannot let you go, but spiritual battles are being fought over their courage, their clarity, and their voice. Do not assume silence means defeat. Angels are fighting for the words to break through. Beloved, whisper this in the comments as faith. Angels are fighting for our union. Because heaven is contending in ways you cannot see. There are also signs that silence is about to end. One sign is an increase in your awareness of them. You feel them more. You dream of them more often. You sense their presence when you least expect it. That is heaven preparing your spirit. Another sign is that scriptures begin to leap out at you, reminding you of love, covenant, and patience. That is the Spirit confirming the nearness of breakthrough. Another sign is that restlessness rises in your own heart. That restlessness is not just yours, it is a reflection of theirs. Their constant thoughts of you leak into your own spirit, which is why you sense them so strongly. Beloved, type in the comments, their restlessness reveals their love. Because God wants you to know you are not imagining it. The restlessness is real. Think of Zechariah's silence again. For months he could not speak. People may have assumed he had nothing to say. But when the time came, when his tongue was loosed, his words poured out with prophecy and truth. Luke 1:64 says, "Immediately his mouth was opened and his tongue set free, and he began to speak, praising God." Silence was not emptiness, it was storing. Your soulmate's silence is storing words, feelings, and thoughts. When the time comes, the release will surprise even you, because silence has been preparing their voice. This is why Galatians 6-9 is such a powerful reminder. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Do not give up because of silence. Someone cannot let you go, and at the proper time, the harvest of words, love, and action will come. Beloved, silence is also training your spirit. It is teaching you patience, discernment, and unwavering faith. James 1:3-4 says, "Because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Your faith is being stretched, not to break you, but to make you mature enough to handle the love story God is writing. The one who cannot let you go is also being prepared. They are wrestling with their fears, their pride, and their wounds. God is working on both of you, refining you so that when silence ends, the bond will not be shallow, but unshakable. Malachi 3:3 says, "He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver." This season of silence is refinement. That is why they cannot let you go, because refinement has not erased you, it has highlighted you. Beloved, write in the comments, refinement is making you as ready. That is your faith that God is using silence to purify, not destroy. And beloved, let me say this with certainty. Silence will not last forever. Suddenly moments are coming. Suddenly Joseph was called from prison to the palace. Suddenly Ruth went from gleaning to being chosen by Boaz. Suddenly Saul went from persecutor to Paul the apostle. Suddenly moments break silence into action. Isaiah 60:22 promises, "The least of you will become 1,000, the smallest a mighty nation. I am the Lord. In its time I will do this swiftly." Swiftly, that is how quickly. Silence can turn into movement. Beloved, declare this now, silence will end swiftly. This is your alignment with the truth that silence is temporary, but God's timing is eternal. If this word has stirred your heart, like this video as your act of faith. Subscribe to The Lord's Reminder and click the notification bell so you will not miss the next word heaven sends. Share this message with someone else in a season of waiting, because your act of sharing might give them the hope they desperately need. Beloved, the angels are whispering to you still. Someone cannot let you go. Their thoughts, their restlessness, their silence are proof of the tie heaven has ordained. There is more to reveal, how silence shifts into pursuit, how God aligns divine meetings, and how you can prepare your heart to receive what is coming. Beloved child of God, the Spirit is still pouring out, and I must continue. The angels are whispering to you because heaven wants your heart steady and filled with faith. Someone secretly cannot let you go. They may not be saying it, they may be hidden in silence, but deep within, their soul is restless for you. Their spirit remembers you, their mind drifts back to you, their heart still carries you. And heaven has ordained that no matter how far they wander or how long they wait, they cannot escape what God has planted. Let us remember this truth from Romans 11:29, for God's gifts and His call are irrevocable. When God gives a bond, a promise, or a divine connection, it cannot be revoked. Silence cannot erase it, time cannot wither it, and distance cannot destroy it. That is why they cannot let you go, because what heaven has sealed cannot be undone. Beloved, type in the comments now, the call is irrevocable. By writing it, you are aligning yourself with heaven's truth that this bond remains even when silence stretches. There's something powerful about the way the Spirit moves in silence. When Jesus was laid in the tomb, the disciples thought it was over, all was silent. But in that silence, the greatest victory was unfolding. In that tomb, unseen by men, resurrection power was preparing to burst forth. Matthew 28:6 declared it. He is not here, He has risen, just as He said. Beloved, silence does not mean nothing is happening. Silence often means resurrection is being prepared. Someone cannot let you go because God is resurrecting something inside of them, even in the silence. Sometimes silence is the evidence of a spiritual tug of war. Their flesh may want to move forward, to forget, to numb themselves. But their spirit cannot. Their spirit knows what God has joined. Galatians 5:17 says, "For the flesh desires what is contrary to the Spirit, and the Spirit what is contrary to the flesh." The reason they cannot let you go is because the Spirit is stronger than the flesh. Even if they resist in words, in silence their spirit always wins. Beloved, think of David. For years he lived in caves, hunted by Saul, silence stretched between the promise of his kingship and the throne itself. But every moment, the promise was alive. Even Saul himself could not let David go. He was jealous, tormented, and obsessed because the Spirit had confirmed David's destiny. 1 Samuel 18:12 says, Saul was afraid of David, because the Lord was with David but had departed from Saul. Sometimes people cannot let go because the Spirit of God Himself keeps highlighting you to them. They cannot ignore what God keeps placing in front of their mind and heart. Beloved, whisper this into the comments. The Lord keeps me before them. That is your prophetic faith. God Himself keeps your presence alive in their thoughts. Think too of Paul and Barnabas. Even when disagreements arose and they parted ways, the memory of their mission together never left them. Acts 15:39 says, they had such a sharp disagreement that they parted company. Yet years later, Paul still spoke of Barnabas's faith. Silence between them did not erase their connection. Beloved, do you see? Separation is not erasure. Someone may seem absent now, but they cannot remove you from their spirit. We must also look at how God uses silence to strengthen your discernment. In silence, you are being trained to trust the Spirit's confirmations. How many times have you thought of them out of nowhere, only to later realize they were thinking of you too? That is the Spirit's way of showing you the invisible cord is still intact. Ecclesiastes 4:12 says, though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. The 3rd strand is God, and He keeps the tie from breaking, which is why they cannot let you go. Beloved, declare in the comments, our cord cannot be broken. That is your reminder that silence is powerless against a 3-stranded bond tied by God. Sometimes silence is also about maturity. The angels whisper that they are being matured in this season. They cannot let you go because you are their appointed portion, but God must mature their character before their words and actions align with their heart. Just as Joseph was prepared in prison before becoming governor, silence is their place of preparation. Genesis 41:14 says, so Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. When he had shaved and changed his clothes, he came before Pharaoh. Notice how quickly things changed after years of silence. Beloved, when their preparation ends, things will move suddenly. The enemy may try to use silence to discourage you, but heaven is saying, look at the signs. They still surface in your dreams. Their name comes up when you pray. Scriptures about covenant leap off the page. You feel them in your spirit. These are confirmations from heaven. John 14:26 says, but the Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and will remind you. Beloved, the Spirit reminds you of them not by accident, but to assure you they are still tied. They cannot let go. This is why silence often feels so heavy, because their thoughts are strong. You feel the pull of their heart even when no words come. That pull is real. Angels are whispering, so you do not dismiss it as imagination. Someone is secretly holding on, and heaven is preparing the moment when silence will break. Beloved, type this now. Silence is not the end. Because silence is a chapter, not the conclusion. Look at Ruth again. She gleaned silently in the fields, humble and unnoticed. Yet Boaz noticed her. Ruth 2:12 records his blessing. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Ruth's silence did not erase her significance. Boaz's heart could not let her go because heaven highlighted her. In the same way, even if they do not speak, your soulmate's spirit cannot erase you. You are highlighted in their heart by heaven. Beloved, also remember Peter after denying Jesus. Silence covered his shame. But when Jesus resurrected, he went directly to Peter. John 21:15 says, when they had finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Silence could not erase the bond between them. Love confronted silence, and love prevailed. Your silence will not last forever, beloved. Love will confront it. Silence also prepares you. You are being trained to hold faith without constant reassurance. This builds an unshakable spirit. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This hope in the silence is what strengthens you for the union when it comes. Beloved, like this video now is a prophetic act of agreement that you trust God in the silence. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to the Lord's Reminder and click the notification bell so you never miss a word that heaven is releasing. And share this message with someone who is weary in silence, because it may be the very encouragement their heart is crying out for. Remember this truth: someone secretly cannot let you go. Their silence is loud with thought. Their absence is filled with memory. Their heart is restless with your presence. The angels whisper this to you so that you will not give up. Heaven is still moving, angels are still fighting, and God is still writing your story. Beloved, there is still more to uncover: how to know when the silence is about to break, what signs will confirm it, and how to posture your heart for the moment when love finally speaks. Beloved child of God, as we bring this word to a close, let your heart rest in this truth. When the angels whisper, it is because heaven wants you to know you have not been forgotten. Someone secretly cannot let you go. Silence may hide it, but their heart cannot deny it, and their spirit still remembers what God has planted. What heaven ordains cannot be erased. If this message has spoken to your spirit, I want you to seal it with faith right now. Go into the comments and declare, "Blessed and ready." That is your agreement with heaven, that you are blessed by God and ready for the love and purpose He has prepared for you. Do not keep this word to yourself. Share it with your friends, your family, and anyone who needs encouragement in a season of silence. Your act of sharing may be the very lifeline their spirit needs today. That if you have not already, I lovingly invite you to subscribe to the Lord's Reminder and click the notification bell so that you never miss another word sent to guide, strengthen, and uplift you. Until we meet again, may God's peace keep you. May His angels surround you, and may His promises continue to unfold in your life. The silence will not last forever. The best is yet to come.